In there. All right. Can you hear me? I think I'm. Yeah. Holla at your boy. My bad. It's kind of loud.
No, that's my fault too. Peace, love, and positive vibes, y'all. Peace. Welcome back, Monotfahme Monday, y'all.
Yay, yay.
Yo, what's good? What's good?
Sick with it.
Yeah, we got EMillio back again. Thanks for coming back, EMillio. It's dope to have you back again. Special guest.
Hey, peace. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to come back over here and rock with you. I definitely had fun last week, man. Definitely looking to have another dope discussion once again. How's everybody?
Oh, lovely,
Absolutely.
lovely. You already know, man. You
Yes.
put the dope in it. You know what I mean? You listen. You already know, man. You want them profound thinking individuals, and that's what helps make this thing really like just be what it is. Like we all talk offline, online, and this is where we at, man. We need this more than anything. We was talking about healing before, right? That was mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, and it's
Mm.
like right now, people hurting immensely, and this is a safe place to both be hurt as well as express your pain and your anger and your frustrations with the crap that's going on. Because that's the mantra. Like, not for me. We're not going for this, man. We're not going
Right.
for this. And if it starts with a conversation and communication and get your mind clear over here, then come through. Because this is what we do. Bars.
Cause
I
it's,
don't even be meaning
I
to do
know, right? I'm like, okay, bars in this
it.
motherfucker. Come true. This is what we do.
My bad. Go ahead, Mel. You was great spit.
No, I wasn't. I was just gonna say that bars to you. That's all.
Oh,
I'm actually just getting
my
stuff set up so that everybody can see us everywhere. So don't mind me. I'm kind of probably looking crazy off to the side and stuff.
rock out. My bad for spitting in the mic, y'all. I just got a little hype. I feel like the
Dang.
movement is coming. Like old school definitely get ready to get a whole new, I'll say, boost, if you will. When I say old school, I mean like those of us who grew up in that era who knew what it was to live through what we lived through.
hmm
The crack period, the crack era, being
Hmm.
latchkey kid pros. Like we was latchkey kid veterans back then. You know what I'm saying? Like
hmm
being a teenager at home by yourself, man, you already knew what it meant to be on some like I'm gonna take care of mine. So this ain't nothing really different in these times. Especially as we look and we got families, kids, etc., or what may have you, or just got some real adult grown up problems, and you gotta get your budget right. Hey, you got practice at this. This ain't gonna be nothing new.
That's
Hmm.
true.
Got
That's
practice.
definitely true.
You know what we doing. Trust your inner sides. Your inner sides. Trust
Yeah.
them.
Stop looking beyond self for
All right.
things. You'd be surprised how much you find within self. You didn't have to go any further than that.
Healing.
Yeah. So, Monophomy is brought to you by Survival Mode Music and Media today, y'all. Shout out to
Salute.
Survival Mode.
3B salute.
Yeah. It's
Yo.
interesting that word healing that you mentioned. Like, I sit here and I think about these current times that we're in right now and how we are trying to get through the signs where it has been very damaging psychologically to a lot of us, spiritually to a lot of us as well. I can't say that there's not one person out there that has not been affected by this current situation at some point in their lives over the last 2 years. And when you sit there and you think about it, the psychological damage that a lot of people went through, the emotional damage and scars that a lot of people have endured throughout this time with the whole situation, the death that's been around and all this craziness, people losing their jobs, not able to go to work due to lockdowns and other things outside of their control and everything. And it makes me think about that when you say the word healing. It's like, how are we as a people, both individually and collectively, going to be able to heal from this moving forward? Because for some of us, the damage is so far done that there's no healing. These scars are going to forever be with us throughout the rest of our lives. But for the rest of us, how do we start to heal this type of damage that has been done at this magnitude, at this level? Makes me think about that a lot.
Yo, that's deep because what's crazy about that is a lot of people aren't even healed from the first part of their life yet.
Mhm.
They haven't even healed from the years prior to all this yet. So it's like when you think about that and then you add all this crazy shit that's been going on, because
Yeah,
in all reality, this is very psychologically damaging. I don't
yeah,
know if
very.
people even realize it, but it is. And like, so when you think about adding those two things together, it's like, damn, that really is a good question. Because how do people heal? I mean, you almost have to heal in the field. Like, you got to be, you know what I'm saying, y'all? Like, as
Yeah,
you're moving, you got to be working through shit. Like, sometimes you got to take days for self on some all
yeah.
the way real shit. Like, no matter what's going on in the world around you right now, or
You
like, or no
know,
matter
like
what you have to take days for self to just like do whatever self
absolutely.
needs to
You
love
know,
on self.
it's like the whole topic in the conversation about, mental health has been like a cliche so much over
Yeah.
the past couple of years because everybody want to use that like it's the new thing, like it's the new trend where you actually up close and you seeing these mental health things that a lot of people out here like to pass off as issues that they're really dealing with, like the mental health thing, man. It's like how much do people really care about mental health, or are they just using it as a facade right now to just have attention directed towards them? Because it's like when people say use the word mental health, do you really understand what that entails, what it really means? When you really think about it, they just think that it just means, oh, mental health means that you're either crazy or you're not. There's much more to it. There's people out there that are suffering with real mental health issues that don't even realize they have mental health issues. So people out here just saying it because they think it's the cool term because they hear it being made popularized on social media and on these other like various, blogs and YouTube channels that want to talk about this shit to get monetized off of that. Like, how really serious is the concern about the mental health of this country right now? Because as it stands, we're sitting on the powder keg, man. And it's like, yo, all it's waiting for is for that right spark to set
Yeah.
everything off. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, the
Yeah.
chain of events that's been leading up to this, man. It's like, how do we start walking people back off of the ledge when they have us, so many of us, brainwashed beyond the point of repair? Like, how do we fix this? How do we get around this current roadblock that we're dealing with?
Yeah,
You
but
know?
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but at really though, like, okay, so let me backtrack just a little bit to like, is it all just kind of like trend? And I really want to say it might feel like a trend because you see so many people adhering to this and starting to use certain lingo or whatever, right? But in all reality, like, there is no coincidences. Like,
Yeah,
that isn't just like, oh, it's a trend. No, it's a actual like celestial like thing that's happening. It's an
that's
awakening. It's a mass awakening.
that's
And
true
it's
in
on
two parts, though.
purpose. Like, and what's happening is like, even this, the pressure from all of this darkness that's happening right now is like, y'all know pressure creates diamonds. Like, it's the
Right,
same thing that's happening here. Is even this pressure is like forcing some people who are fast asleep to like kind of rub their eyes and start to
right.
wake up a little bit. People are starting to, and that's not on accident. It's not
That
coincidence.
is,
That's
no, no,
that's
no,
a
no. That
legit
is
thing that's happening.
no, that is true. It is a
But
legit
so
thing
there are
happening.
some people
But
capitalizing
there
off of
is
it
some
though,
people.
and
No, but hold on. This is what I'm gonna say.
utilizing
But
it
there's
for,
also people out there that are really using it just for attention. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. So
that's
at the end of
true.
the day, there's people out
But I
there
just don't want it
that
to be confused because
no,
I
no, no, no,
hear
no. I'm not
people,
trying to make
not
it seem
necessarily
like
you,
it's
but I do hear other people see, or I see other people speaking on it, and they will, oh, that's that fake woke shit, da da da. But you can't always just put everybody in a fake woke pile. I'm not saying
no.
that you are
See,
doing that, but I don't want other
right,
people to
I
do that.
get you. But
I'm
this is what I'm
clarifying for
saying.
the other
Right. And I can clarify
see.
that for people because it's not really difficult to explain. Yes, you do have people out there that are perpetrating, and you have people out there that are
Yeah.
really dealing with serious issues. The thing is, what I don't like is what I see is when you go online and you see people that put something stupid in their title of their name or whatever, or in their username that has something related to mental health. Do you really think that person is really dealing with a mental health issue? Because somebody that's really screaming for help and really reaching out, they're not going to really make it known to you. This is what I'm saying. Like,
Mhm.
actually being somebody that worked around that field for the last 4 years, it's like you can kind of see the people that are really, really in need of it. And then you got the people out there you can see that really are just perpetrating it. And at the end of the
They
day,
think
like,
crazy
yes,
is cute type shit.
yeah, pretty much. And that's the point I'm making. Like, at the end of the day, see, we need to understand that there's people out there that's really going through shit. But you got people out there that are getting in the way of those people that really need that help because they just want the attention, because they want to think that crazy is cute, and that's not the case.
Right.
This is
Hmm.
what I'm saying, and the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I see that. That's
Yeah,
a definitely different. That's definitely a different crowd. That's definitely a different crowd of people.
yeah, I'm hearing it all. I think sound like America to me
Yeah,
without
pretty
being,
much, you know.
like insensitive to about it. But I see it all, and I think when you talk about mental health, it's something everybody deals with,
Yeah.
varying degrees. Our society is set up in such a way that it's like, how can you not go through some type of psychological, you know, experience or trauma?
Mm-hmm.
Because your humanity is undervalued, if I can even put it that way. That we as human beings are associated with economic worth versus like our human worth, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
And that in and of itself is traumatizing, So you look at the whole scope of it all. I think like with everything in addition that's going on a broader scale with the scamdemic, etc. You know, people are like not sure what to do. It's a lot of uncertainty.
Mm.
Some people are capitalists in a capitalist society. Surprise,
Mm-hmm.
is it's all right. People don't know what to do. Well, I'm gonna figure out how to make money off of it, not
Hmm.
knowing what to do. Their ignorance, which I talked about before. I mean
Hmm.
that's what made America possible. That's what continues to make America possible. If people even knew the true heritage of who's really who in this
Right.
country, where we
But
really come from, and all that type of stuff.
and to interject a little bit like that, when you speak on capitalism, yes, but see, we're living in a time now where you have these democratic socialists, as they call them. I don't really get too much into political parties right now, but the whole group of people within politics that are pushing socialism is making it look like capitalism is the problem here in America, when that's not the case. They think that universal income is going to be the absolute answer to everybody's problem, when at the end of the day
Mm.
you don't understand what you're actually ushering in.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're welcome. You see, when you welcome socialism, you opening the doors to communism, because we all know that
Facts.
socialism is a precursor to communism. Okay,
Right.
capitalism gives you the freedom to
It's a
be able
commie cousin.
to become the person that you work hard to be. So if you want to be somebody that want to accept handouts, then at the end of the day, you're not going to make it very far in capitalism. But if you got that ambition that you really want to make money and be rich, then yeah, you can do that. But in socialism, you're not going to be able to do that because everything is going to be capped. And then at the end of
So
the day, you'll get to the point where you will own nothing and you will be happy about it, is what they're saying. So, like, at the end of the day, like,
Literally,
is
you
this
won't own
something that you
nothing
really
and be
want?
happy about it.
Like,
well,
take defund the police, for instance. People were talking about defund the police. Look what happened. The murder rates went up countrywide. Now here we are. People was trying to walk back that whole statement about defund the police. So now you're pushing for socialism. You get a taste of it for real. For real, is this something that you're gonna really want to be able to endure for the rest of your life dealing with? People need
I
to understand what they're saying and really know the meaning of what they're saying. Just because it's a catchphrase to you, really understand this meaning and really understand the repercussions behind it. You
Yeah,
know.
I want to make sure I clarify it too, because I agree with you on like pretty much everything
Mm-hmm.
that you said. I just want to be clear when I say capitalist, in terms of the society, it's a capitalist society, and so the way that the economy is designed,
Mm-hmm.
I'm making an argument essentially that even the socialists are capitalizing. They're capitalists too, and in a number of ways, not just
Mm.
economically but politically.
Oh yeah.
They're playing they're playing the politics against the society. The average citizen is the one who's going to be punished or take the brunt of the bad decisions or poor economic choices that are made by the politicians
Definitely.
and leadership. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily advocating like socialism or communism when I raise the issue that I raise about capitalism.
Yeah.
I'm raising the issue that so human beings are human and we're prone to make mistakes, and capitalism, just like socialism, just like communism, they all human programs and systems, and they're gonna have flaws. And so, the challenge is that, like, I talked about it in a previous episode, probably like one of the first ones, is like human beings, we got to balance being idealists or whatever with how that plays out, in real time. And right now, we're even seeing that the socialist, so to speak, Democratic Party agenda, whatever might be in charge right now. But again, it's not much different than how things were under President Trump. New York, I believe, still was one of the first cities to drop their mandate or put up their mandate rather as far as COVID vaccinations, etc. Like these things were going to happen anyway because the politics game is more of a front. It's a cover. They just spokespersons from the president, commander in chief on down. It's like we talked last episode. Your politicians gonna have the most impact on the local level, but the bigger the political position, the bigger the budget, the bigger the budget, the more money and big players involved. And yeah, I remember that those political campaign contributions are coming from big earners, Shark Tank type. So it doesn't matter what, if you independent, Republican, whatever, you collecting a million from this dude, that dude, and the next dude, and however they got their organization set up. Everything in America is capitalistic. And that's just the way it's set up. And even when we look at the expansion worldwide, they said, wait a minute, it's been working so well in America, we're gonna go worldwide with it. And that was under President Clinton. They started with that NAFTA and all that. So I'm a firm believer like you that we should be rewarded for our hard work and everybody should get recognized for their initiative, and that should be a type of incentive. But however, it's just not the way it's designed. The people who strategize and get into positions to control large territories and influence large populations of people's lifestyle, that's who runs the world. Call them Illuminati, call them whatever you want to call them. We all playing their game because we all playing it with their currency, whether it's American dollars, whether it's UK pound, it's their game. So the reality of it is we got to understand what is our leverage, what is our power. We want to heal ourselves, we got to deal with our humanity.
Right.
Because the reality of it is, this system changes at the whim because that is the leverage that this system maintains. That's why every so many years you got your shifts in, the economy as far as the interest rates, and that's why you got your shifts with inflation. And why would they do that? Well, it's to level things out and balance things out. Well, no, it's to keep the poor people from catching up, because by the time you wake up to something and you're aware of something economical, they gonna say, oh, we got to stop that flow. Because whose money are you taking other than a rich person's? Even if you're doing it legally, whose money are you taking other than somebody who already had a large sum of money invested in something you just came up on? So that's what we're really up against, is that the level of this mass production scale of economy that we've practiced and perfected over the last 40 plus years. While you and I, all three of us are growing up during this time, people were mastering this and then passed it on to their children and leaving it to foundations that were being run by people just a little younger but still older than us. I mean, it's a big nasty money game. So how do we get through it? Same way we've been doing it. Like I said, we grew up in this. You stick together. And that's not saying everybody will. That's not saying everybody's trustworthy. I'm just saying, but that's how we get overcome. It's a war of attrition, if you will. But we got to remember that our major weapon is each other. It ain't no stronger weapon. Ain't nothing to fight back with.
And they realize that, and they've effectively come up with a way to keep us divided. This whole current situation we're
Multiple
dealing with
ways.
now, they've kept us divided through this day in and day out. When they see that we're getting more and more united, they come with some new ploy to divide us right back up again. And it's like people keep falling for it over and over.
Well, I think we as human beings, like we were talking about earlier, we are kind of dumb in that way. And I don't like using the word dumb because it's harsh. Because I mean, it is what it is. We're gonna call it that. We call it that. But like I said, like a child, we really are like children. We like blank slates, and truth be told, it never changes. We think we mature, as we like to say, because our attitudes and our emotions become more intricately woven into the things we fall in love with. But the fact of the matter is, day in and day out, you got basic needs, and that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
If you don't meet your basics, you ain't here. Everything else is periphery.
Going back just a little bit, like at the end of the day, what can we really call it? Because nowadays you call it whatever, it's going to offend somebody. So even if we call it dumb, or if we call it unintelligent, if we call it not so smart, if we call it stupid, we call it retarded.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
intellectually
I call it human.
declined.
Somebody somewhere is going to be offended. So at the end of the day, that's the number one problem right there, is that so many people are too sensitive. People
Yeah,
True,
want the truth,
true,
but they too
that's true
sensitive to it. So
facts.
you can't have it both ways.
true.
If
I
you
mean
want
Yeah,
the
that.
truth, you got to be uncomfortable with the results.
No,
yeah. The
listen.
truth is uncomfortable sometimes. That's
Yeah,
just
I ain't even gonna dispute that. The Marine Corps give it to you raw, rugged. You know what I mean?
yeah.
However you don't like it is how they give it to you. But
yeah,
that said, everybody not built for it, and I'll be honest,
Yeah,
it left an
facts.
impact
I
on.
find that out often.
Think the
Because
think the
y'all
move
know
though.
me. Y'all know me. See, you two actually like know me in real life. So y'all know how blunt and just very straightforward I am. And some people can't
mhm.
handle that shit.
Right,
I mean,
A lot
but
of people
think
can't
the
handle
move
that
though.
shit.
Hey, I'm a kind of dovetail back to the other question too, because we talking about healing, right? So it's
mhm,
like when I looked at the impact of the core, the training, the rigidity, excuse me, the ruggedness that they get yourself prepared to kill, right?
Hmm.
And then you come back to civilian, mainstream society, and everything that you've been sharpening, every skill you've been sharpening is not preparing you to interact with people on a civil and humane level, right?
Right.
mhm.
Take it on another level. I have kids, and my oldest probably suffered the most from me dealing with that process because him as a young man, I'm thinking, oh, I'm getting you ready for this world. It's cold, it's tough, and you're gonna be toughened
Right.
up and have an event. And I'm breaking his spirit,
Right.
or at least I was. Let's make that clear. Me and my
Right.
son have a healthy relationship to this day, and I don't treat him like he in boot camp no more.
Well, that's growth. That's you
But I say that
educating
to say,
yourself, healing yourself.
right. But I say that to say also that the residual of how I was only focused on the one side and kind of even thinking like you said, I'm like, this is my son, and I know life has been harsh towards me. I'm gonna be
Hmm.
harsh with a purpose. I'm not trying to
Right.
destroy him. I'm gonna build him back up, and I have. But at the same token, I start realizing as I analyze my problem, like, hold up, I don't gotta be this rough. He's never gonna
Hmm.
face. He's never gonna face the things I think that I'm preparing him for. I'm
Yeah,
I'm I'm caught up in an overdrive and a hypervigilance that I'm so I had to so I when I say that I say I guess for me, now I ain't trying to make nobody feel bad by saying the term dumb. So if it comes out like naturally, then I'll stand on it and own it. But at the same token, I guess when I'm preparing myself to think to people, excuse me, talking to people, I try to think about, all right, somebody might have feelings behind the words I use. Because I
Yeah.
use all
right.
kinds of expletives all the time. Y'all know I tell you all
Yeah.
day, fuck it, bullshit. I ain't trying to go, But at the same token, I guess it's time and place, and you just got to pick and choose, and that's life.
That's
And
true.
it's not about, ain't about no script, man. Ain't about no
That's true.
script.
And the saying goes, you get more with honey than you do with vinegar. And I understand and I agree with that. But it's like sometimes, man, it's like,
Sometimes you need vinegar. I will
yeah,
Sometimes
agree.
you need
sometimes you need
vinegar.
that vinegar,
And not the
And
apple
it's like,
cider stuff
Let's
neither.
just be real.
Not the
and it's
apple
like,
cider. The
like,
raw.
let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, if we was actually like right now with this current situation, if we was actually giving people the vinegar over the honey, you really
Hmm.
think we'd still be going this far right now with what we're
Man, I don't
dealing
know
with?
because I've been pouring vinegar all over the place.
Right, but see,
I try
online
to
and
put
all
a
these
little honey
various
with it, so it's like
right.
sweet vinegar. But
But a lot of these like outlooks and outposts and stuff that a lot of people go and get their information from, they sugarcoat a lot of the information that they want to hear in a way so it makes them feel comfortable. Whereas somebody giving them the blunt truth about what's going on is viewed as being a conspiracy theorist or a racist.
yeah,
True.
So like
yeah,
what I mean, like
or
if
a
people,
combination of those things. You definitely don't care
yeah,
about other people. That's for sure.
right,
Yeah, I'm glad you
And
made
you're
that
for
point.
sure selfish, inconsiderate, probably killing people's grandmothers,
right.
and you should probably just be put to death. I mean, at this
Yeah, like you
point,
should be locked away and kept
seriously,
away from society and stuff
you
like that. See,
are,
like they gave people on out to use with this racist and
yeah,
inconsiderate shit. Like at the end of the day, when people don't want to, come to grips with something, that's how they dismiss it as calling
yeah,
this person a racist or a conspiracy theorist.
yeah. Conspiracy theorist is something that's been thrown around so heavily, like not even just recently, just period.
Hmm. It's
It's
misused
just,
now.
it's just a term that's thrown at anyone who questions anything. It's thrown at anyone who doesn't follow the direct agenda and narrative. Automatically, they're conspiracy theorists. Which you
Yep.
should actually probably listen to those people because some of them are a little out there, but most of them are probably speaking a lot of truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real truth, not like the facts truth or whatever we were talking about earlier.
Or
Man,
not
Peace
the
to you,
monetized
Gus.
truth.
Monetized truth, yeah.
Yeah.
what's good, guys? Love you
Peace,
too, bro.
peace. What's good,
Peace,
G?
God.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm listen. I tell you, man. Life been hard enough for me that I brace myself for more of the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Mm,
I'm not inclined
interesting.
to uh not inclined to give people like a whole lot of what you call it, Disney movie type idealism or
Very
whatever.
endings. Yeah.
Yeah, and when that said, I'm with y'all. I'm a wholeheartedly, First Amendment advocate, supporter. Say what you want, feel how you feel.
Yeah.
But I guess, I'm just in that place right now. Just that I guess maybe I can drop some bombs or maybe be a little, a little aggressive with the words and how I use words and stuff. So for me, I'm just being more sensitive to it with it
I
rather.
dig it.
Just it's because I'm at a place where it's like, man, I understand. I guess my heart goes out like, cause
Mhm.
some shit I still be kind of falling for. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I be thinking about it. Like people getting the shot, don't get the shot. I don't care, man. Like not even hate. I'm just like you said earlier. Ain't no, I'm not anti-vaxxer. None of that. I'm just saying let's
Mm.
maintain respect for each other's autonomy
Exactly.
and civil liberty, if you will.
And to me, that's what it's always been about from the beginning. Just because I make the choice not to go and do X, Y, and Z, I'm not going to knock somebody else for doing it. Just respect my decision, just like I respect yours. But
Yeah.
Right,
just don't force me to make a decision or to
right.
make me feel forced. Because according to some, that we're not being forced,
Hmm.
and maybe that's their truth. So at the end of the day, I just I accept it as maybe that's their truth. I got my own truth, you got your truth. But that's the thing what I was saying earlier before the camera started rolling is at the end of the day, what is the truth nowadays? Everybody got
Mhm.
some kind of version of the truth. It's your
Right,
truth, the truth, and the actual truth.
right.
You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So it's like, where are we at right now?
So
And
let
then we
me
got false truths. My fault.
right. No, I just want to jump in there because I'm with you on that, and it's like this how I
Mhm.
see it. From what I'm understanding, it's like the English language is so tricky, right? And this is something
Mhm.
that we heard so many times in the history, right? How the words got used and what the white man said, he spoke with a forked tongue, right?
Mhm.
Well, it was just understanding that there's English and then there's legalese.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Two worlds that use the same language differently.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And that's where people are getting the traumatized and coerced. See, watch, there's another word, coerced
Yeah, of course.
into being, uh, complicit with this process when you don't have to do it. It's free
Mhm.
will employment. You can
Mm.
quit just like they can fire you.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's exactly what's happening. So the employers are being forced because they're up against the wall. Because really, when it comes down to it, let's talk about human beings now. The employee is saying, "Hey, I'm just trying to get this check so I can feed my family. I ain't trying to get this bang boogie and I wind up with some medical issues, right?" But the
Right.
employer is saying, "Well, damn, I'm just trying to get this check so I can feed my family and pay
Mhm.
you so you can feed your family." And then
But
Mhm.
with a equal opportunity employer, which all employers are not, but most are,
They
um,
claim to be.
underneath that equal opportunity act is uh, creed. Creed is your belief. So if you believe that this thing is not for you and you don't want to do it, then that would fall under creed. I mean, if you have a religious reason for it, if you have a medical reason for it, all those
Mhm.
things fall under that as well. So I'm not really sure how these people can get fired for this. There's so many
See,
things.
but
I
that's
feel
the
like so many people need to like hire attorneys or something. There's got
See,
to
but
be.
that's the thing though. Like, while so many people was distracted by the George Floyds or was distracted by the, the Ahmaud Arbery's and stuff like that, God bless their souls and everything. But while they was distracted by these things,
Right.
they was
Those were
behind
put
closed
there as
doors putting these things
distractions.
into law. It was writing
Mm.
these things in the law. So now these Supreme Courts are ruling in their favor because these things have been written into law now.
well, that's
Because we're
part of it.
so, huh?
Part of it is because they was written in the law. The other part of it is because I know maybe in a Supreme Court justice case, you talking about a lifetime appointment, but even getting to that position, you talking about relationships.
Mhm.
You talk about network. You talking about again
Oh yeah, but
human
come
being.
on, hospitals make millions behind people getting sick. Period. That doesn't even. Hospitals are
Oh, I think that
literally.
Hold on, I
I think
disagree with
that
that
point.
right there
Yeah, I was
because
ready to say.
Hospitals have
Can I,
been making money
if you go
hand
let me
back.
over
throw this in
fist
there real quick,
over
That's
y'all.
not true.
sickness
That's not true. That's
regardless.
not true.
So
But go
that's
ahead,
their
Sig,
whole
and I'll
point for
come back to
being
what I was
there.
going to say. Hold on.
That's
But
their
go
whole
ahead,
point
Sig,
for
real
being
quick.
there.
First, I want to say, E, can you say the name again? I'm so sorry.
Avrashina.
Avrashina. If I
Yeah.
met you in person or heard you actually say the name, it sticks better. That I see it and it messes with my head.
Yeah.
My bad, Avrashina. I appreciate you sharing that. That's what I was thinking when you
Peace.
said no, many are paid to enforce it, and hospitals are making millions behind it.
That's
So I'm
true.
gonna go back to the illustration of the employer versus the employee. Right? You got the employee who's trying to get their check and get paid without disruption. Then you got the employer, in this case, a hospital, right? Who's trying to get paid. And in this case, a lot of hospitals are trying to get paid from the federal government funding. And that's not the
Hmm.
only source of
That's
funding
the
they try
truth.
and get, but it's a main source they try and get. And if they don't comply, they're not getting them
They're not getting
checks.
that funding,
Now
right?
watch
And I
this.
understand that.
And not only that though, the other part, people paid to enforce it, also comes with law enforcement. So when
That's
you start talking about certain things that if you don't comply dealing with the federal government or even the state government level, they will send the boys in
Well,
to
that's a
come.
little. That's a little. There's a catch 22 behind that with the law enforcement thing, because in some cities they're not deploying their law enforcement to
Yeah,
enforce these mandates. They're employing health officials with the help of law enforcement. Say, like, if they're going to an establishment, they have a problem with an individual and they can't deal with it on themselves, then they're going to call the police to come
right,
assist them. But they're not actively out there in the streets
right,
enforcing that. But and also, to get back to what we were saying earlier about the hospitals, there's a little known fact to people out there that a lot of people don't know, that before this whole pandemic happened, 2019, they came out it was a CSNBC or something like that. It was some kind of special report that came out, national television, that indicated, that documented the health, I mean, not the crisis, the financial crisis that the hospital network was dealing with throughout the country. A lot of hospitals were being closed down because a
mm,
lot of hospitals was going bankrupt. So now look what happened. Pandemic comes along. People get
mm,
diagnosed with COVID, they get $13,000. People that get
mm,
put on the ventilator, they get $27,000. People that die from COVID, the hospital
mm.
is getting paid $54,000. So you
Okay,
put one thing and then you put another thing, a crisis that they having financially. Now this
Mm-hmm.
happened, people getting paid for all these patients that are coming in. How do you get out of the financial crisis? Look at that. Look
right.
at the money. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Go
Mm-hmm.
back. If
You
I
can
find that
always
video, I
find out
will.
what's going on just by following the money. That's always
Yeah,
what.
but at the
Always
end
the
of the day,
case.
the hospital industry was suffering. They wasn't making a
yeah,
lot of money like a lot of people was thinking, because a lot of hospitals around the country were closing. Even looking at places like Chicago, because they couldn't fund it, some people had to drive 45 minutes outside of the scene of an incident, and people not making it in time. They're not
right.
making it in time because the hospitals that's there, they're not funding them enough money to be able to handle gunshot victims or
Right.
people of certain emergencies they can't treat. So they're going way outside city limits, and by the time they get there, they're dying. So
That
there
was
was a
happening
big
in Philly too.
yeah, so there was a big financial crisis within the hospital industry that a lot of people were not aware of prior to 2020 happening, because they
Right.
actually documented this. That's
Right.
where I got my information from.
No, I just wanted to
Yeah.
say the one thing you said that you just described what I was trying to give a general sense of, but that's it specifically right there, like you said. So if you as a person object to doing whatever this hospital administrator, whether it's the security guard to the daggone clerk to whoever, if somebody in that hospital tell you to go and you don't go do what they tell you to do, then they had a right to call the law because now you trespassing.
Mm.
Absolutely.
See, that's why I said legal leads. Now, what you was doing as a regular human being went from being a normal thing. You just trying to have your medical needs met. All of a
Hmm.
sudden, you didn't comply with our process
Mm-hmm.
for you getting your medical needs met. So you are now trespassing. Get off our property.
Hmm.
What is the challenge here? What we who have decided we wanted to do something in society that wasn't medical in nature? Maybe we need to start studying medicine.
Hmm.
No, medicine is the problem.
Well, when I say medicine, I'm not talking about their medicine. I'm talking about understanding the true practice of how you heal yourself as a human
Yeah, I've
being.
been studying holistic medicine for 11 years.
So I'm just using a general statement that people can connect with the word medicine,
Hmm.
that is about making yourself healthy. It's about healing yourself and not exclusively relying on another human being just because they've been reading these books longer than you have. Start reading some books.
That's a
Start.
very interesting thing. I'm sorry, I don't mean to
Good.
cut
No,
you. I
go,
was
go.
reading something that Brianna Miss Queen Thomas wrote.
Yeah,
She
here, let me
said,
put that up there.
okay. She was saying hospitals are still struggling. I'm an employee working. I'm an
No, they
employee
never
working
tell
in
the
the
truth.
ER, and
Tell you
they
what
and
they
we
want.
have no funding and there's no resources. Yeah. And a lot of hospitals are like that. Like you go into a lot of hospitals, you're not seeing a lot of this whole clutter and congesting like they're trying to say there is. You're not walking into some hospitals and seeing it overrun and
Right.
overwhelming the staff or whatever the case may be. A lot of people are suffering because of these cuts that
Right.
happened just recently. People lost
Oh
their
yeah.
jobs for not complying with the mandates.
Right. And so that's
So,
what. Well, I was
oh
just
no,
saying that's the strategy though. That is
yeah,
the strategy. And so watch this.
Mm-hmm.
In a country where we believe holistically in these rights, and we've been taught that when we don't get these things we want, we're supposed to go protest and walk around City Hall with picket signs and attend these particular meetings, and that's the extent of what we got to do. It's just protest and vote, and we're left to believe that we could trust the professionals of yesterday or yesteryear to keep doing what
but
they've been doing and give us different results.
Yeah, because protesting and voting has gotten us
I,
so far.
that's exactly what I was going to say. Like at the end of the point, at the end of the day, when are we past the point of protesting now?
We're past the point
Yes.
of protesting and voting.
It's time to really start putting pen to paper, and that's what a lot of people fail to realize. Go to some of these city council meetings. Go and sit in on some of these sessions when they're doing these legislative sessions, if you can, and listen to these bills that
Right.
they're proposing and speak on them. Do some of these things that are really going to be tangible results that are going to
Yes,
be an
I
effect of
did.
that. You know,
Yeah, no, that's real. We had to do
It's
something because the same
it's
way.
a lot of great contributions, by the way, guys. Sorry, we try and keep pace with y'all as we throwing thoughts back and forth. Christopher, Brianna, Crystal, we see you in there. Everybody is dropping some solid truth and facts. So yeah, for those of y'all checking us out live, make sure y'all scan through the comments too, because like I said, it ain't just about us sitting here spitting off what we think and feel. We sharing what we have researched. We sharing what we're learning firsthand, from other people around the world. And it ain't about us. We want this knowledge and this truth to be out here, and we want people to start connecting and building so that we can help each other. Because that's really how we gonna heal. That's really how we gonna fix it. And see, this is my mindset about it. Is like this is doing something.
yeah.
No matter how small it might seem, this is actually doing something.
Yeah, this is a part of healing right here. Having everybody just come and just speak honestly about how they feel about it. Be honest with yourself and be honest with your feelings. Because we all feel in some
Yeah.
way, whether we agree or we disagree, and it's okay to disagree. But at
Yeah.
the same time, we got to get that out. You can't sit there and just hold on to it because that's where it's going to really do psychological damage as you continue to hold on to things instead of just speaking and getting it off your chest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's like the only way that we can ever move forward together is if we accept the differences and the differing opinions and the differing ideas in one another instead of trying to always force someone to change their idea into the same as ours. Like, you don't have to believe the way that I believe in order for us to get along or for us to love one another or for us to help each other or move forward together. Like, we have to come to that point, but I can't be the only one to come to that point. We have to all come to that point where we decide that we're not going to allow our differences to push us together, but make them your strengths and my weaknesses. Boom. You feel me? Like, where I'm weak, you are strong. Like, well, there's a reason that you have differing opinions and differing ideas and differing strengths. And that's because we all together work as one beautiful, beautiful synchronicity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We get back to what we was asking earlier about healing. How do we heal going forward once all this is over with? Once people are left back to picking up the pieces of their life that this whole past 2 years destroyed. Like, how much longer do we know that we're going to be in this current situation? Going forward.
We don't know. We don't know. And honestly, until we really until we really stand up for ourselves, and I mean truly stand up for ourselves together, unified, like, we're going to continue to be subjected to whatever they throw at us. So it's like we literally have to stop allowing these divisions that they keep throwing at us to consume us. That's the problem, is that we have allowed this divide and conquer system to work. If we don't play into it, it can't work.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And you know what? And to be honest with you, we always present the problem.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, we're presenting the problem and everything. How do we heal? No, like, I want to present a solution, and I think the first solution should come as people should start turning off the television.
Oh my God!
Stop listening to the stupid shit that they're putting out there in the media, and
Unplug. Shut that motherfucker off.
yeah, and
Zombie
even
box.
unplug
Kill
from
your
fucking
TV.
social media from time to time. Like, take a break.
Kill it.
Go outside and live life. People just got to get back to living life, putting their own pieces back together to start off with.
Be
And
around
just
human
acknowledging,
beings.
yeah,
That
just
was something you
acknowledging
said
the fact.
earlier too, and I can't remember what it was now, but it made me think to say something about we need to be around each other. We have to literally like we need each other's energy. Like we literally do. Like the vibration that is felt between us when we are around one another is very powerful. And we need that. Like it helps us, it raises our vibration. Our voices right now are waking people up and raising their vibrations. Like literally. So it's something that we all have to do, and that's they know that type of shit too. That's why they keep us away from each other. And the 6 feet apart thing is not just to identify us singly, it's also to keep us to be away from each other. The virus thing is to make us fear each other, so we don't want to be around. You don't want to hug people. Some people don't want to hug people, shake hands, none of that stuff. Like,
but see, this is going to
all
make
of
it
that
easier.
plays into a lot of the mental. It's like there's so much shit that plays into, you guys. All these little tiny pieces are a huge fucking puzzle.
This is all going into that metaverse shit.
I see that. That's funny. We kind of talked on that. So
yeah, this is all going into that metaverse.
I think you talked about one of the you was asking about ways to move forward. That's kind of what inspired, but not for me. Melody was really like the impetus for that. Like she was like, "Yo, we got to just put this thing in motion." You know what I'm saying? And it was like, all right, we're gonna make this the space where we now in the virtual realm, but we being real, and we gonna maintain authenticity in this space because, like you said, everybody doesn't agree all the time. Everything's not always peachy keen and hunky dory. I referenced the Lego movie in a couple episodes before. How about we got the Lego movie too? And their first song in the first Lego movie is "Everything is awesome," right? But the second one says "Everything's not awesome." Like they come to this realization, like rough things happen.
Shit.
Yeah, they grew, they matured, they evolved, and that's what
everything's not awesome.
Oh, they had a couple humdinger songs that had get stuck in your head. This song's gonna get stuck inside your head.
There are always some bullshit ass songs that get stuck inside your head. Be careful what you let your children watch, man. On everything.
I screen everything. Real talk, because
I'm not talking to you. I'm just speaking in general, like everybody.
I appreciate you saying it either way, because I mean, I had to learn to screen. I didn't realize how much stuff was really subliminally targeted towards.
It's all subliminal. It's all got everything has subliminal messages in it.
And it's not even just that; they also hiding other things within these cartoons, like. I don't know if any of you out there remember the whole Peppa Pig, situation and the Momo situation and everything. Do you?
What?
Break it down.
Yeah, my kids are all grown as hell, y'all.
So the Peppa Pig situation, because once you look up these cartoons on YouTube or whatever for your children, boom, you sit them in front of the TV. They got Peppa Pig, they watching. You can go off about your business because they're gonna sit there glued to the TV. So they know like parents are gonna check out.
Yeah,
probably 2 to 3 minutes.
They know that for a fact.
They know they're gonna check out like 2 to 3 minutes into the program. So later on within the program, they was finding like these little subliminal messages where you had this one dude that would actually walk out onto the set of the the thing while actual man, and he was encouraging kids to commit suicide. And then also at the Momo thing was,
the Momo thing, I did see that creepy ass fucking thing.
The Momo thing was coming out, and it was another thing that was terrorizing kids and also trying to encourage them to hurt themselves or to hurt others. It was the one thing that told some child to leave the stove on in the house while the mommy and daddy was asleep. And started finding these things and everything. So it was like, yo, like you gotta really like. It's not just the subliminal message that they put in there. There's also a lot of things
some
in there.
Blatant shit up in there.
Yeah, some like real blatant shit, like intentional shit,
and a lot of symbolism too. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of symbolism in there too.
Yeah, man.
We use a lot of predictive programming. I don't know if y'all remember the I don't know if I talked about it last week, but the Snapchat filters that they had in like 2016, 2017, 2018, or when you smile or when you talk, the mask comes up over your face. Like all that shit's predictive programming, man. They've been doing that shit for a long ass time.
I see my partners in the house watching.
Oh yeah, definitely Tansy. They do. They slip in that pedo stuff all the time. Always some kind of weird. There's always some kind of weird like relationship with an adult and multiple like children, but it's not
Yeah.
like normal relationships in most cases, if you ask me. I
But
don't
do
know.
you also notice how they starting to put a whole lot of this, agenda in there now, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The agenda where they're trying to, get people into thinking that, man on man, girl on girl is okay. Getting kids to
It's
explore their sexuality at an early age. Like we see him in New York. There was a commercial that was teaching kids about masturbation. They was only 5 years old. It's like they putting a lot of this stuff in here. Like you look at comics now. You got Robin is bisexual. You look at Superman, he's bisexual now.
Right, but
You got
that's
a lot
yeah.
of things that they're starting to
Didn't
mix up.
Spider-Man come out or something like that
Yeah,
too?
something like that.
In
Yeah,
one of
I'm
the
just.
movies recently or in a show or something recently?
But I mean,
I thought I
that's what
saw
I'm
something.
saying though. When you look at it, is and again, it ain't. This ain't
Not that
even.
there's anything wrong with it. It's not the
there's
point.
not nothing wrong
That's
with it,
not
but
what
it's
we're
just the
trying to
fact that
say.
they're putting this in the kids' heads at an
It's that
early
they're
age.
starting like things like really young. Anything
But
sexual too young is it doesn't matter if it's heterosexual.
Yeah.
It's the idea that they're putting the sexual ideas into children's minds at such a young age. I actually watched something today that they were saying like they teach children about sex at like elementary school, but they don't even teach them about credit by high school. They're still not even learning about credit and how to balance checkbooks. Like,
thank you for making that point.
but they know how to fuck
I,
and
I
put
can I
condoms
can
on.
I can teach you that
If
it's
they're lucky, they
okay
know
to
how to
kiss.
put condoms
I
on.
can tell you that it's okay as a man to kiss another man and want to be a princess, but I can't teach you anything that's going to get you financial freedom in life.
Right,
I
that's
can't
gonna
teach you the
benefit
real
you like
actual.
in
Yeah,
your
I
This
can't
life.
teach you the real actual life skills
this
that's
is
going
I
to
should
really
tell
help
people
you
something right
succeed.
there.
what's the boy named Childish Bambino Gambino.
Gambino,
Yeah,
yeah.
childish
This is
Gambino.
America.
Yeah,
This is America. Like as I'm saying, capitalism. Because you understand, in a capitalist society, is more about government hands off. Everybody got the freedom to make it how they can make it. And so you
Hmm.
got a lot of people out here who are saying, I want to be able to make my living taking advantage of people like young children or people in formative stages or vulnerable places. And that's not saying that all
all
people
right.
who want a lifestyle that is not heterosexual is in a vulnerable place. But it is saying that there are a lot of people who are in vulnerable places. And when you talk about the targeted media, which has definitely been a whole new thing within the last 4 or 5 years, maybe 10 even, but it wasn't during our lifetimes. It was
Yeah,
like it wasn't
it wasn't
safe for
targeted
kids to
kids.
talk about being interested or into like any type of alternative sexuality and or lifestyle
Yeah,
in the 90s, etc. But that being
Oh, that
said,
was taboo as fuck, yo.
but
but
it,
that
but
being
it, but
said,
in most, I thought,
no, it's cool. I want because I'm trying to be more fair, right? Because that's what the issue is. The issue everybody is feeling like is not they're not being heard.
Yeah, but at this point, they're trying to make pedophilia part of the LGBTQ community,
But here's the thing: pedophilia has existed, whether they give it a status or not.
and they're
right, but
making
If
they're
it
you
trying to
look
like
make
at
it
they're
cool
making it
again.
like
They're trying to
no,
they're
no,
trying to
hear
make
what
it
I'm
sexual
saying.
rude. That's
orientation, though.
Please hear what I'm saying, though. Out of 50 United States in America, okay, as recent as probably like 2020, I just did this research. It has been legal to marry an underage female, and at least
Underage,
like
like what are you talking about? Like 16?
maybe even as young
What's
as like 14, if I'm not mistaken, in some states. This is on the books still in some states. Out of 50
I
states,
know.
That's not
you-
too shocking
I
to you.
know. I know.
but
Recently
this
in
is my point about.
California, they started trying to,
I ain't talking
finagle
about
some laws
trying
like
to.
that.
I ain't talking about trying to. I'm talking about stuff that's been on the books for years that it ain't public knowledge. Nobody knows. Just like in certain states, sodomy was illegal up until like
That
1920 or
stuff
something.
that stuff's on public record
Now I'm not saying it's
as
not.
laws for the
I'm not saying it's not public record. I'm saying it's not public knowledge. People don't know. Nobody was around. Nobody talks about it. It sticks around for 100, 200 years, and nobody thinks about it except for the pervert that's looking to take advantage of it. And then you find that this stuff is happening in mass. They sit here and talk about how, the immigrants are crossing the border and bringing, this is what you hear in the Republican platforms, they're bringing these sex slaves and child
right.
trafficking is happening. It's happening
Mm-hmm.
regardless.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening regardless. So if we really want to get at it, we're gonna have to like really like we was talking about last week, we're gonna have to change the culture. We're gonna have to change all the stuff we co-sign that they're making wealth off of because we keep spending money on it that they give us or we steal or however they want to put it out there in the media, but we just perpetuating it because we
Right.
don't appreciate ourselves as human beings. We gotta
I
value
get.
ourselves.
Right. I get what you're saying that it's been happening, but the point that we're trying to make is they're trying to make it okay
Yeah, they're
to
trying to
be a
literally
pedo.
legalize
They're
it.
trying to
Yeah, I'm
make
not
it
saying.
legal to be that. That's what
I'm
we're
not saying.
saying.
No, I'm not
Like
saying
it's
that
a
they're not
sexual
doing what they're
orientation, not
doing.
bisexual, not gay, but pedophilic. I don't know.
Pedophilia, but I'm not saying that it's.
But they actually have a different term for it. I don't remember the term. If somebody
Yeah,
knows out there, please go ahead, or someone wants
it's
to
a
Google it real
it's a
quick.
euphemism to make it seem more like an affliction or a condition. I'm not co-signing it by no stretch of the imagination. I'm not saying they're not doing what they're doing. I'm saying see it for the evolution that it is. See it as a part of an extension of all the programming. Because who's in charge of writing this law to say, hey, we want to put these people in position to have rights? Think about it from that angle. Who's putting money in the judge's pocket or the legislation's pocket that's going to say, yay, 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 yay? It's going to be 200 something yays for this bullshit ass law and
I
like
think
50 nays, if that.
I think in some instances, I don't think any money will have to be put in anybody's pocket. I think a lot of those people that are in those types of positions are with it. That's why they're doing it.
No, what I'm saying is for the laws to pass, for the law, we talking about the process. For the law to be passed, that means Congress got to sit down and vote on it. That means somebody got to stand up and propose it. Somebody got to second it, and all that shit they
My
do on
statement remains
C-SPAN.
true. Exactly what I said. A lot
But
of
it's
those people are with it. They're
right.
a part of it. So
So what that means then again,
not
back to
hard to
voting.
pass that shit. Why do you think it's been so how easy it why do you think it's been so freely spoken about and so easily talked about as if it's nothing? Like, oh well, we'll just make it cool to just, fondle
Right,
other people's children or whoever. It's fine.
right.
They're asking for it. They probably like it. They're
Look at this
probably
bullshit with the
whatever
whole
the fuck
like
they say.
pronouns and
Yeah,
getting
they
rid
get
of
their own
this.
pronouns too.
Yeah, like getting rid of
I don't know what they are,
the
but
separate sex bathrooms. People can use the same sex if you identify like as a woman.
oh man,
Men
they
can
have
identify
like
as a
they have like
female and go and use a woman's bathroom now. Like
non
none of that shit is right
bathrooms.
to me.
No
Like
sex.
it'll
What if
never
I
be right
told
to
you
me.
this? This might be the hot take for the night. What if I told you this? It's really no different than what happened to black people.
What do you mean by
Because
that?
when we became black in American history,
Hmm.
we never was. It came out of somewhere and then it became legally a status.
Yeah.
So all of a
Hmm.
sudden people who used to be one culture overnight became another culture. So
Mhm.
Hmm.
you could take it from the 1800s to 2000 and something. It's just a move. It's a chess move.
Yeah, what
Mhm.
did we say earlier? History repeats itself.
It's
They just
just a
literally
chess
Right.
take
move.
the same
So what they
thing
did,
and
they said
redo
for
everything and
everybody
just give it
who's
a different
tired of
name.
getting their ass kicked because they prefer a particular sexual preference, they tired of being ostracized. Hey, now we're gonna make a legal space for you to have your rights protected. And guess what? If you get beat up in public, you can call the cops and say somebody beat you up because of your sexual preference. That
Yeah.
never existed in history. It's a chess move. And I ain't saying that these people don't deserve justice or fairness. And I know people might say,
No,
"Oh,
of
listen to
course
what he
not.
said." These people, I don't want to get caught up in the terminology.
Mhm.
I could go through a whole bunch of personal shit to try to justify. I don't want to get caught up in terminology. I'm just trying to point out the game. And that's why we get fucked up. Because we look at it like human beings. Oh man, I ain't like that move. Oh, that wasn't fair. Man, they want us to get emotional about this shit.
I
Hmm.
know. I know.
Exactly. It's a
From
divide
That's
and
from
why
conquer.
our
that
It's
the
another. It's
humanity.
just another arm of divide and conquer.
that's why
Who's
people
okay
gotta
with it? Who's
understand
not
and
okay with
realize
it?
that you can't allow them to use your emotions to think for
Hmm.
you. And that's what they mastered the game of doing because they
Oh my
know
God, yes.
we are fucking emotional people. So at the end of the
Right.
day, you put something out there that's going to be emotionally triggering and they get the desired effect, then mission accomplished. Because at the end of the day, now they got you all emotional as shit. They know they're
Hmm.
gonna have you thinking outside of the normal way you would normally think.
Yeah,
You
you
go
won't
out there and do
react to your
some dumb
symptoms.
shit. Why at the end of the
Hmm.
day, this is what they doing behind closed doors. They back here. Why you doing all that? Yeah, right. Yeah. But they sign these things in the law. The next thing you
Right.
know, boom.
Right.
Okay.
While people
That's what's
are
going on.
all worried
Right.
about who just got
I
killed
appreciate
or
it. I
whatever
agree.
else fucking
You
shit
said
they threw in
it's
the
not a
media.
chess move, it's self preservation. And that's what I mean by chess move. I'm saying that this is the people in positions of authority. I mean, think of it. If you're a congressperson, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've decided to run for office or be in office or serve in office, and if you do have this dirty little secret that you do like touching on kids, etc.,
Hmm.
you already know somebody who's gonna have your back in terms of these
Right.
people got money. So that's what I mean by it being a chess move. You're gonna make sure, hey, I want to protect my ability to do what I like doing as a human being, and I like touching babies. No, I don't. I'm just saying that for the example, making sure we clear on that. All right, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying that's why I say it's a chess move.
Please don't
This is
anyone loop that.
I'm just saying this is listen, my reputation speaks for myself, speaks for itself, which is why I say what I say. And
Right.
I own everything I say.
I said what the
Literally
fuck I said.
everything.
Okay.
That being said, though, understand Jesse Small is a good example. Like you said earlier, all of this stuff is done a lot of times under the guise, under the mysterious moves. You think it's one thing. Everybody's hyped up about Jesse Smollett. Everybody's hyped up about getting the
Yeah.
COVID shot. Everybody's hyped about, and the next thing you know, they just passed the $1 trillion package, the largest in the history. That not only us, but our kids and their grandkids and their great grandkids gonna have to pay. They got to pay for this.
Yeah.
They got to pay for this,
But old Sleepy
economically as
Joe,
well as physically.
according to old Sleepy Joe, it's already paid for. So it's like,
Well, that's what he meant when he said
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Exactly. That's why I said chess moves. Like for them, it is a chess move because they already thinking generations ahead at a
Yeah.
time. We still thinking in real time. Individuals stuck in our reality that I'm still trying to get. I'm trying to make it. They
But
like, man,
see,
we done made it. We done
but
switched it
but
up.
but
We done
see, that's the
changed it
thing.
again.
People aren't connecting the dots. See, at the end of the day, oh, what was the promise? Oh, we're gonna do away with student loan debt. You're not gonna have to pay student loan debt. Now look what's happening. You're gonna have to pay that debt back.
Right.
How you think they was able to pay for all
Yeah,
this
they never
shit?
got
Because
rid of
we're
my student
all
loans.
right. And then at the end of the day, look at all the inflation. People will say inflation ain't real. Yes, the fuck it is. How the fuck
How
you
is it
walk into a
not?
store and you paying $10 for a pack of bacon? I just bought a carton of strawberries the other day that I would normally get for $4. I had to pay $8 for it. Like, come on,
Reason they
inflation ain't real my ass.
reason they say it ain't real is because those people got the knowledge and understanding of how the money game moves, even if they don't have the money to play it right. The inflation game is to keep people who think the same way their entire lives at an economic disadvantage. Meanwhile, you're thinking about making a profit the same way you was raised and trained by this shitty ass educational system. And meanwhile, they done recreated the education system. It's a whole new system. Everything we learned is virtually obsolete. And we still trying to do that shit. That's what I'm saying about it being chess moves. It's like, yeah, it's real life for everybody. It's a survival thing for
These
everybody.
systems have
But
always been
how they
broken,
survive,
though.
That's why it's survival mode music and media, ladies and gentlemen, because everything is about survival. That's why I say ain't no real thrive. For them, it's thriving. It's thriving because they get to choose how they gonna torture those of us who ain't figured out how much they got a real control over our choices. And it's not because they got total control. It's just because of the conditioning. It's because they keep us separated from really connecting with each other and believing in what we can do independent of them. Not to mention, they got some big fucking weapons and artillery and laser beams to protect the shit they don't want you getting. So if you ain't ready to die for your shit, if you ain't ready to survive for
Laser.
your shit, how about that? If you ain't ready to survive for your shit, you ain't ready to thrive for nothing. And it's gonna take people being willing to say, wait a minute. I'm not going to depend on these motherfuckers for hardly anything. As much as it's in my power to disconnect, I'm unplugged. Like MTV, I'm done with this shit. You can't get me to buy into this game because this game is rigged.
Mhm.
And when I say game being rigged, look at what's happening with the NFL and the NBA and everybody else. They tell you one day that these motherfuckers is sick and can't play, but then got reports saying that the NFL themselves don't even believe that
Oh,
COVID is being transmitted.
now they just need two negative tests in a row, and they
Yeah, it
can.
was always
And
part of the shift.
Come back.
they shitting all over themselves with this whole
Yeah,
situation right
and they
now.
be letting
Like,
players play now that couldn't play before because they were not vaccinated. They refused vaccination. Now they can play. Like,
Listen, man. All I know
all a
is that
bunch of bullshit.
COVID was
They
supposed to
just do
be
whatever
able
the
to
fuck they
sit on the
want.
football when Aaron Rodgers, Hawk spits on his hand, gets COVID on his hand, takes the football, throws it 70 yards, and Antonio Brown, whoever catches it, he scores a touchdown, spikes it in the ground, and everybody on the field supposed to catch COVID because that's how much it ping pongs.
Yeah,
That's what they told us 22 years ago.
I
Now, all
mean,
of a
they told
sudden,
us that shit lived on metal for 9 days. So
yeah,
so
but
all I'm
since then,
saying,
a lot of the things that they were saying beforehand, they're not saying that now. Like they not
right. They ain't saying
right,
nothing
because
to
that's
that.
what they do.
asymptomatic
That's what they do
theory.
is they change the story so many times that there is no way for you to really know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah,
There's
well,
just
I'm
mass
stick with the
confusion.
analogy. It's called moving the goalposts.
Yeah, sure, whatever you want to call it.
That's why I say what I said about it being The only way you can get, listen, I'm gonna drop this. Hey, shout out to my cousin Charles Clark, Chip. Hey, follow him on Facebook wherever he at. My cousin taught me a life lesson. We was little kids, and he's 2 years younger than me. All right, moving the goalposts. I used to beat his ass in like all the games, chess, checkers, whatever. Couple years advanced, more knowledge. I can outthink certain things. You know what he taught me? He could move the goalposts. Every time I was beating him bad enough and he didn't like it, he just look at me and smile. Like the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. Get up and flip the table and keep it moving. Whole board pieces spun all over the place everywhere. And I'm sitting there with the smack ass look in my face like, damn, I was beating him, but who won now?
Right.
The only reason they keep beating us is because we keep trying to play the game.
That's why I say turn the TV off.
I keep
turn the
saying the
motherfucking TV
telling
off.
people to kill their TV for years. Matter of fact, but not for me was gonna be called "Kill Your TV."
Facts.
Like at the end of the day, like
the goalposts on roller skates. Facts.
Like at the end of the day, like yo, every fucking week,
jet powered ones.
Out, they got something different going on. They got something new or some kind of bullshit. The moment they start feeling like they're losing control,
hell yeah,
give them back that control by fucking submitting
falling for the fucking bullshit.
Yeah, turn the fucking TV off and live your life.
Turn the fucking TV off, man. Y'all, we got a challenge for y'all this whole week. Shut the fucking TV off. Come back next week and tell us how you feel about the world. Tell me you don't look at the world differently.
I'm gonna say real quick. I'm gonna challenge you to replace the TV with these books that EMillio gonna put you down with this book club. I just got on myself. We really listen. It ain't about taking away entertainment. It's about taking control over your entertainment.
That's the new variant, Tansy. It's reading. That's the new variant, y'all. It's reading.
Right,
that's the thing. Like when it comes down to it, man. Like spend more time being educated over being entertained. When it comes down to it, like a lot of the stuff that you want to be in life is right there within your own education. You just gotta go out there and find the right information.
They have you. They have you like they have you chasing goals that are not goals that are actually healthy goals for you or good for your life. Like they look pretty. But everything that glitters ain't gold.
That's a fact.
That's real life.
Hey, and there's some people out there again. They whole business is to give you some gold plated. Hey, what's that block that I ain't been in New York in a minute? Hey, what is it? Canal Street. Canal Street where you get all the hookups there, right? Hey, everything on Canal Street ain't shiny like it look. You know what I'm saying? Like don't fall for the okie doke in America.
He said the hookups. What is that? Like the little you dig area?
The knockoffs.
Oh.
Yeah, me and my folks went up Canal Street a few times back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Grab a couple. Listen, man, I'm a survivor. I'm gonna do what I got to do to live. But I start realizing that can't be the end all and be all of our humanity. So for those who think that that's what survival mode is on, I'm here to make a new definition for survival mode. Like you can't survive as a human without maintaining your humanity. You can't. You can't survive as a human without maintaining your humanity. You become a shell of a human.
Oh, but what is humanity nowadays when they're trying to keep you separated from people with all of this new technology you have?
Hey, I'm going to make the argument that we define it.
Yeah, we define it. But a lot of people, they're going to be intrigued by a lot of this new technology.
Oh, of course they are.
People that have already been, conditioned and groomed to stand in the house for so long.
Right.
And then now you get
the
promise where you go and you can go and be whoever you want to be in the metaverse. You can be what you want. You can be who you want. You can get what you want.
People are already buying property in the metaverse.
Yeah, like you can buy sneakers. You can buy real estate. Like if you a fuck up in real life, you can go to the metaverse and be a fucking.
Listen, this is the crazy part.
Alibaba and all that shit. Like
we're gonna definitely cover that in another episode. But
we don't have to talk about that because have y'all seen Surrogates? Because that's legit what the metaverse reminds me of is the movie Surrogates. If y'all haven't seen that, you should see that. The
thing about the whole metaverse thing though is like while it has it's gonna have real life, real time impact, it's still gonna be people plugged in the machine,
right?
And it's like. Hey, it's a whole separate game. You know what I'm saying? So either you in it or you ain't, but you don't gotta be. Now here's the thing: them machines gotta be in this reality. So the question is gonna be, what are you gonna do with your reality? And I'm gonna just leave it at that. Sick with it.
Facts, yeah, Tansy, that's true. It's only gonna add there to the depression and in reality,
Yeah, because eventually you're gonna have to take them goggles off. You're not gonna go to sleep in them goggles. If you do, then you're a weirdo.
That's
It's
the
probably
thing, is that motherfuckers finna
Yeah.
be in the metaverse. I mean,
right.
if
If they
if
have it their
people
way.
go along with how they want it to go along, you could pretty much consider us to be Wally. Y'all seen Wally?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of, and I haven't really gotten into this game yet, but from the gist of it, what we're seeing right now, this is what this is going to become.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, this is what this is going to become, because like you just go and you play that game. It's based in some kind of like futuristic setting, and you look at movies like the Matrix. They just brought a new Matrix out here right now with everything that's going on, and
Yeah.
then the emergence of this metaverse. Like it's going to be crazy. Like
And
they said,
Don't
the
Look
suicide.
Up. Have y'all haven't seen Don't Look Up? That's literally like a 2020 Idiocracy 2022.
Yeah. And then I'm looking like
Straight up.
she's saying, the suicide rate is going to go up after they step out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, suicide rates have gone up.
Mhm.
Can you imagine what's going to happen when they do that? Yes.
Did you see the story about some woman saying that she got groped in the metaverse?
She got groped.
Groped.
I mean, that's going to be a real thing. Do people not think that type of stuff's going to happen?
But how do you regulate something like that if it happens though? Is virtual
I don't know. Why
reality
don't you
still?
ask the the censor king himself? I don't know how that could have even happened. How is that not against what is it?
But you see
Community
what they're doing.
guidelines.
Yeah, but do you see what's happening with reality though? It's like people's balance of reality is all messed up now.
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
Did Sick with a drop off?
I'm not sure what happened to him.
Okay.
Oh, he's still in the Oh, we'll come back. Oh, okay. All right, well, peace. All right, then. All right, peace. Huh? What'd you say?
I said peace and love, everybody. Stay up and stay blessed.
I don't know if y'all heard that. He said, peace and love, everybody. Stay up and stay blessed.
Peace.
Yeah, so Six gone. He had a whatever happened, but so he's gone. Sorry, y'all. But we can wrap things up anyways. So we'll be definitely back next week. I don't know if EMillio will be joining us. We can only hope that we can get EMillio back as many times as possible. He's a busy man. So I definitely want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight and all of your guys' contributions and your comments and your sharing and your likes and everything. Definitely appreciate you guys for coming through. Make sure you guys come back next week. We'll be talking about some more similar things and just shit that's not for us. So if something's not for you, we want to hear about it. Definitely let us know what kind of things going out here in the world that that you ain't fucking with. We want to talk about it. This is the space for that. So you guys come back. If you want to follow Monot for Me everywhere on social media is Monot for Me. It's literally spelled exactly how you see it spelled everywhere on social media. My name is Melody Waters. I'm not hard to find. You guys can find me everywhere at I am Melody Waters. And how about you? Where can they find you at, EMillio?
You can find me on Twitter at the Emillio EgBar. As you see right there is my name at the bottom of the screen and all that good stuff. And if you're interested in getting in contact with me, if you want to, touch base, you can do so. You can send me an email, nsr.female@gmail.com. If you're interested in some of the things that we provide over there at EJP Entertainment, definitely get in contact with me. I'll definitely let you know what our services is, man, and we go from there,
Absolutely. Thank you so much, EMillio, for coming back this week. It was really dope having you. It's always nice to have your insight and your knowledge and your energy. Appreciate you. Peace, love, and positive vibes to you.
All right. Definitely appreciate you as well.
So definitely let me know when you can come back again. If not next week, I understand, but you're always welcome. So let me know when you can come back again and we'll kick it.
I got you.
Thank you guys so much for coming through, man. Peace, love, and positive vibes to all y'all out there in the world. Stay safe, stay dangerous. Whatever you got to do to survive out here in this motherfucker, but whatever you got to do, just do it. Come back next week
Absolutely.
though and hang out with us. We'll be here,
Yeah.
but not for me Mondays. Love y'all.
Peace.
Peace, man.